Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Jasmine, and today's video we are doing a little book tag. So I actually stole this from Destiny Sidwell. I recently started watching her. If you haven't heard of her, she is a booktuber, makes content about books primarily, sometimes does vlogs and stuff like that, but she's actually very fun to watch. And funny fact, I hate to say this because I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not a mean person, but like when I first saw her, I was like, I'm not gonna watch her content. But it was because like, I was like, I'm loyal to the YouTubers I do watch. Like feeling, I don't know if anybody would like resonate with that or not, but like you get loyal to the people that you already watch and then you see new people and you're like, I couldn't watch anybody else. But I started watching her and I freaking love her videos. She is so good at what she does. Her editing is amazing. It keeps you entertained and I just really enjoy watching her videos. And she recently posted a end of the year book tag, and she also was so kind to put her list of questions in the comments below. And that's another thing that I love about her. She's just not a gatekeeper. But yeah, so I don't know, some people might resonate with that, some people might not. I swear I'm not mean. I swear there was nothing against her. It was just like, oh, I'm loyal to the people I watch. I want to say I watched Sarah Caroli before her, and it was always just Sarah Caroli. And like, mind you, I'm new to the booktube world, right? Like I'm new to like reading, I'm new to all of that stuff. So like when I first even found out that people make freaking YouTube videos about books, it was Sarah Caroli. So I found her, and then like Des was popping up here and there, and I'm like, no, I'm watching Sarah Caroli. I don't know why I'm like that. Like I also only watch one YouTube couple, and that is Charles and Alyssa. I'm just loyal to them. I love them so much. I know that I don't have to boycott other YouTube couples. It's just that I love them and their content, and I just watch them. Like I don't know. I hope that somebody understands what I'm saying, but we're gonna get into it. So anyway, she put her list of questions in the description below her video. So I did steal those from her. So if you guys are interested in watching her video, it is Destiny Sidwell on YouTube. She posted a end of the year book tag, but we're going to use some of those questions, probably not all of them, but we are going to use some of them to do an end of year book tag over here on this channel. So thank you, Destiny, for sharing that. We are going to jump right into it. We will have about 20 or so questions and go from there. If I think of any other questions, I might just add them in just because for the fun of it. Anyway, so the first question is, what is your most disappointing book or read of the year? I would have to say Love in the Time of Serial Killers. Or no, The Haunting. The Haunting. Let me go get some of the books that, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some of the books that I know will answer these questions. Most disappointing book of the year. And by of the year, this is not books that came out this year. Everything I'm talking about in today's videos are between the books that I personally read this year. So whether they came out this year or not, it is if I read it this year. So anyways, I'm stuck between two. I'm stuck between The Haunting and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I know that's gonna hurt some people's feelings because a lot of people really loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but I'll get into it at a later time. I just did not like it, but I almost think that it might be The Haunting because I really picked this book up thinking that it was gonna be like paranormal, and it was not anything close to that. It was more serial killer. So like this book might be the most disappointing, but this one is very disappointing because I had such high hopes for it. So that is why I'm torn between the two. A book that was overhyped. Okay, 110% Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I said I would get to it later. This is my later. I had such a hard time reading this book. It took me like a freaking month to get through this book. A whole month, all of like September I think it was, or October, to get through this freaking book. And the only reason I rated it as high as I did when I rated it was because of the ending. Like it ended up being something I really wasn't expecting, so that was cool. But outside of that, reading it was so hard and dreadful for me. Like getting to the end was hard. The only reason I didn't DNF this book was because so many people hype it up. But this was just not my cup of tea. I personally did not enjoy it. I can see why people do enjoy it. I just personally couldn't get super into it. My friend enjoyed it a little bit more than I did. Everybody's different. It was not my cup of tea. Most overhyped book of the year for me. Sorry. What are your favorite main book couples of the year? I would have to say favorite book couples would be Farrah and Reese from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Lily and Atlas from It Starts With Us, John and Elsie from Love Theoretically, Selena and Sam from Assassin's Blade Through Glass. Like, actually, in order, I would say Farrah and Reese, Selena and Sam, honestly, Zayden and Violet. So, favorite main character, so start over, one last time. Farrah and Reese from A Court of Mist and Fury, Sam, Cortland, and Selena Sardathian from Assassin's Blade and the Throne of Glass series. Xaden and Violet from Iron Flame. And yes, that's in order, like 1 through 4, who my top favorite couples are from this year, all the books that I read this year. Yeah. Oh my gosh, favorite main characters of the year, you guys. 1,000 and 1,000.1,000 pi times pi. Aelin from Throne of Glass. Aelin. I am obsessed with her. I love her so much. She is my #1 favorite character. Will go down probably for the rest of my life as my absolute favorite character in any series, whether it's TV or books or whatever. Aelin. 1,010% times pi. Okay? Maybe not percent because that'll bring it down. But you know what? You're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Like infinity. Aelin. Nobody is before Aelin. Absolutely nobody can be Aelin. And if I had to pick a male character, it would still be Rhys. I love Rhysson from A Court of Mist and Fury. I honestly, like, I'm obsessed with everything about him, the whole story. I don't see how people don't like him. I just don't. Obsession. So Aelin and Rhys. If I could put those two together, they wouldn't get along, but still. A book that surprised me. A book that surprised me would definitely have to be Verity by Colleen Hoover. I was not expecting that when I first read it. Like, I read that towards the beginning of the year, and I really had no idea what I was walking into. I read that book within 24 hours, and it was the very first book I ever finished in a day. Very first book. Read it so fast. It kept me on my toes. I was like sitting in bed, like heart racing reading that book. That book really did surprise me. I was not expecting the outcome, none of that. So like that book was definitely a book that surprised me this year out of all the books. Alright, so my favorite author is obviously Sarah J. Maas. I think that I've made that very known on my channel. Sarah J. Maas is my #1 favorite author. Did I discover her in 2023? Technically, no. I discovered her towards like the end of 2022, but I read all her books, most of her books in 2023. Happiest read of the year. I would have to say Love Theoretically by what is happening? Ali Hazelwood. And I say that because that book, like, it was very like, I don't know, just good happy vibes a majority of the book. Like, yeah, there were some things like it's part of the plot, right? But at the end of the day, like, that was the most like lighthearted, upbeat book that I think I've read this year outside of the X-Hex, but that one, it was just okay. So Ali Hazelwood's Love Theoretically, I definitely think that that one is probably the happiest book I read in terms of like upbeat. Most frustrating book that I read this year. This one, The Woman in Cabin 10. I was excited because I know it's like a thriller and stuff like that, so I was super excited for this book, but I almost DNF'd it. I was just so unhappy with like the main character, and she just annoyed me so much. I felt like the main character wasn't trustworthy, and that drove me crazy. Like, there were so many times that I questioned her. I just, no, didn't vibe well. It frustrated me. I couldn't wait to just get it done because I was not enjoying it. Longest book I read this year, Kingdom of Ash. This book is, let's see, I want to say like 980 pages. Yeah, on the money, 980 pages. If we count the tandem read, technically that's longer because that was like 1,300 and some pages together. Because I did tandem read Tower of Dawn and Empire Storms before this, but if we're counting a singular book, Kingdom of Ash is the longest book I've ever read. The shortest book I read this year was definitely the X-Hex. I think it's by Erin Sterling, but that one was the shortest cutesy little book that I've read. Well, that's not true. I did read Many Lives, Many Masters. That book is really short, like way shorter. So technically Many Lives, Many Masters is the shortest book that I read this year. Okay, so my favorite covers of the year, Powerless is so pretty. Also, I think this, since we're like on the topic, I do think that this is really cool. So I feel like a lot of people didn't catch this because I've seen like people be like, what is it? What is it? So this is what I think, or actually I'm like pretty sure, but like the covers for the Throne of Glass series, right? You have the girl in the back and the girl in the front, and they're like, who are these people? Okay, I think that this girl right here is Selena because this is the warrior, and this girl right here who's wearing the dress is a queen, and that is Aelin. So I think that that's who these people are on these covers. For Throne of Glass is the front is Aelin on every cover, or the front is Selena on every cover, and the back is Aelin on every cover. So that's my theory. I don't know if that, I'm assuming people have thought of that before, but I know like a lot of people on my Bookstagram were like questioning it. So yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so a book that I haven't stopped thinking about, ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, those changed my freaking life, you guys. Like, changed my life. I will forever be obsessed with those books. Forever. What was the highest and lowest rated books that you have read this year on Goodreads? Ooh, okay, so I rated quite a few 5 stars this year, and in my defense, we've already talked about this. I'm new, okay? I rate a lot of 5 stars. So my top book of the year is definitely Kingdom of Ash. Like, nothing can beat Kingdom of Ash this year. This book was freaking amazing. Amazing. The things that this book made me feel, out of this world, dude. Literally. Books that I would reread. I would reread Verity. I just really had fun with that. I would reread the whole Throne of Glass series, and I would reread the whole ACOTAR series. And Fourth Wing, I'm gonna reread those. Like, I actually am gonna reread all of those, except for maybe Verity. That's not gonna happen anytime soon, but the rest of them I'm definitely rereading. Okay, so reading goal, reflection, and 2024 reading goal. So far, have read 29 books, and my goal was 20. I think that this year, my goal is probably gonna be 40, but we'll figure that out when I finish this year. But I'm thinking about 40 books for next year. I had a really good year reading. Like, this year changed my whole personality. It changed my whole life. I've never read up until this year. It gave me a hobby. It gave me something to do. Before this, I was never a reader. I joined a Bookstagram. I joined a BookTube. It has made the biggest impact and changed my whole life and brought people into my life. This year was so impactful for me, and it came from reading. And I could not be more thankful for that for 2023. And I cannot wait to see what 2024 brings. What will I be prioritizing in 2024? I want to read the Chestnut Spring series. I started the freaking book and put it down. I want to read the Addicted to You series. I want to read Powerless. Oh, and the Billionaire series. I want to read that so bad. So bad. So my goal is to catch up on my bookshelf. I'm on a book buying ban right now. I have so many books on my bookshelf that need to be read and not enough time. So I really need to take the time and just get through those books and read those books before I keep adding more to my bookshelf. That is my end of year book tag. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming it, and I know that I didn't answer all of the questions, but I'll still drop them down below for you guys. Just know credits go to Destiny Sidwell. She posted this first, and thank you to her for sharing the questions so that we could use them. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope to see you guys next time.